It's time for Fan Sports Sunday. If the weekend is a big desert for sports talk, think of this show as an oasis.
Yes, here we go.
Come drink from our pool of hot takes as you quench your thirst with. I thought I was going somewhere, but I'm not. So let's just start the show.
Welcome in. A little Fan Sports Sunday, taking you up to the Cincinnati Reds and the Tampa Bay Rays. Coverage of that beginning here at 1:10 on The Fan. I am Ryan Baker, the man to my right. He is Dylan Tyrer. You heard Nate Pooterball on the update there. We are glad to have you along for this little sprint of a Fan Sports Sunday. And this is kind of for you, Dylan, wrapping up a pretty long week here on The Fan. You've been filling in quite a bit, doing a great job, and we have got a lot to talk about. How are you doing today, my friend?
Oh, I'm excellent. I'm keyed in on all things sports right now, just because I've had to be this week. I've done a couple of Buckeye shows. I was on Rothman and Ice a day this week, and here I am with you on Fan Sports Sunday, and I know we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. You said it. It's a quick little sprint, but I'm geared up for it. There's a lot of sports news.
I feel like, Dylan, you know now how I used to feel all the time, because I used to be that guy filling in, doing this and that, and fun. Being everywhere. So you're getting a little taste of how it used to be for me. But yeah, a lot to talk about. I don't feel like you and I could get together without having some Jackets talk. Right. So we will do that coming up at the bottom of the hour. Big Ten Media Days were this week. I can't wait in the next segment to get your thoughts on what you heard from the different participants in Big Ten Media Day. Tony Petitti, Ryan Day, Kurt Signetti, Burt Bielema, Sharon Moore, all of them, Dan Lanning. And just it was interesting to hear how cohesive they all were kind of in their message. It was almost like they got together and they were all toting the Big Ten flag, which there is nothing wrong for that as well. The MLB trade deadline coming up this week. We'll talk about that a little bit. And it was a sad week for 80s and 90s babies, for sure, as some of the greats in entertainment and all of that passed away this week. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But I first wanted to start off in the NFL. Training camps getting underway this week, and we've had some news just yesterday and today. One of the big things that we've talked about are the Bengals.
Yep. And
just the dysfunction that always seems to follow the Bengals. The Trey Hendrickson situation, the Shamar Stewart situation. Well, now we have a conclusion to one of those, at least, as Shamar Stewart has finally signed his rookie deal, and he will be joining the Bengals at training camp. It's a situation that sure seems like it didn't need to happen, but at least it's done and over with now for Bengals fans, and one of their question marks is put to bed.
Yeah, it is interesting how it all came together, right? Because the big difference between the two sides was some language in Shamar Stewart's contract where they would void, the Bengals being the Bengals would be able to void some guaranteed money if Shamar Stewart got hurt doing a non-football activity or did something to get himself in trouble with the law. So that was the big discrepancy between the two sides. And then finally, the way they worked it out is Shamar Stewart is going to get a little bit more of his bonus money up front. So it seems like a simple solution to what was a long and really dramatic saga. Obviously, there's a lot of drama surrounding Trey Hendrickson right now. And if you're a Bengals fan, I think you would probably rather Trey Hendrickson get signed immediately than Shamar Stewart, just because Stewart's a rookie and Hendrickson is a proven commodity, one of the best pass rushers in the National Football League. But it's huge for the Bengals to get Stewart in there early enough in camp that he's still got time to learn things, get comfortable, and become a part of that team. So without Hendrickson, you needed a pass rusher, and now they've got one in the building.
And maybe this gives the Bengals now a little more leverage on their side in the Trey Hendrickson negotiations, because, hey, at least we've got one pass rusher in here. Shamar Stewart, though, is a guy that a lot of people questioned when the Bengals drafted him at 17. Like, this is a guy that doesn't have the most production at Texas A&M in his college career. Why would you draft that guy there? Now, the dude has all of the physical ability, but he's a guy that is maybe kind of a project. And when you have a guy like that, he needs to be in getting all the reps that he can. So I feel like this was very important for the Bengals to get done because you need him in there. You need him getting all the reps. You need him getting all the work you can, because this is a guy that physically, I don't think there's any question about what he can do physically, but you just got to you got to see the production. You got to see him do it.
Well, and I do think that was the frustrating thing for the Bengals, for Stewart himself, his agent, Bengals fans out there, that is what everybody has talked about, that this is a raw talent that really could be something. And you want those guys inside the facility developing, inside your doors, inside your walls, under your roof. And that wasn't happening for Shamar Stewart. In fact, we had talked about it last week, Cole Bartimus and I on Fan Sports Saturday, that Stewart had gone back to Texas A&M and was training with the football team there. So there was some serious concern. But now he is with the Bengals. Now he's got an opportunity to really show them what he has, and they can get him coached up. One thing I will say is you would love to have Trey Hendrickson opposite him, because something that makes it way easier for a rookie pass rusher, a young pass rusher, is not having all of the focus on you. Trey Hendrickson getting double teamed, things like that. That, of course, opens things up opposite him. So it would certainly do wonders, I think, for Shamar Stewart to get Hendrickson in the building. Beyond that, just the fact that you could learn from Trey Hendrickson and see how he goes about his business as a professional. But for the Bengals, it's great to finally have Shamar Stewart in the building. And, I'm assuming fans, the team, everybody involved would like him to be an impact player as soon as possible.
And we know this Bengals defense obviously hasn't been great the past couple years, but the one thing that they have had are two pretty good defensive ends in Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard. Now you've got Shamar Stewart signed. You have the upside there. Hopefully you can get some production from him. Hopefully you can get Trey Hendrickson signed. This Trey Hendrickson, the whole situation with Trey Hendrickson is so baffling to me because, one, and really the Bengals as a whole, if you would have gotten Hendrickson, Chase, and Higgins all signed last offseason, think of the savings that you would have.
Yeah.
But you've had to pay them all so much more because, as we hear on Rothman and Ice all the time, yesterday's price is not today's price. I don't understand why this Trey Hendrickson thing, and it sounds like the money isn't the issue. It's the years of guarantee that are the issue. I don't understand why, and Biddle and I were talking about this earlier, why when we talk about Trey Hendrickson, we always bring up his age and a decline possibly coming when we don't talk about that with TJ Watt
TJ
and
Watt
Myles
just
Garrett.
signed. He's an older guy, too.
All three of them came into the league in 2017. And the one thing with Trey Hendrickson is he was kind of he was a third-round pick.
Late
Those
bloomer.
others two, yes, a late bloomer. So his last 4 or 5 years have all been really good, and he's been on a steady climb of production. Led the NFL in sacks last year, tied for second the year before that. I just don't understand, and I'm not saying Trey Hendrickson is as good as TJ Watt.
I mean,
or
the numbers
Myles
have
Garrett,
been there.
but the numbers are there. So if he's not there with them, he's just a small peg behind those two. I don't understand why this is such an issue.
Well, I mean, history says that the Bengals have had a hard time paying guys, right? And ponying up that cash. And I think it took pressure from Joe Burrow or comments from Joe Burrow to really get Jamar Chase and T. Higgins the money that he felt they deserved and that they felt they deserved. But, in doing that and getting that T. Higgins deal done, it obviously, you're strapped for cash in some situations going forward. And, the name of the game in the NFL is making sure you are flexible to do things around a franchise quarterback. You are in the sweet spot, and I know we want to talk a little bit about Terry McLaurin. You're truly in the sweet spot when you have a quarterback that's a proven commodity still on his rookie deal, and then you can build that team around him because so much of the cap is not going to the quarterback. In the situation the Bengals are in, so much of the cap is going to their quarterback, and deservedly so. It's Joe Burrow. He might be the best quarterback in the NFL right now. Certainly, had they won more games last year, I think you're looking at the reigning MVP. But they have a lot of money locked up in that offense, right? And part of the reason Joe Burrow is so good is because he has Jamar Chase. He has T. Higgins. Part of the reason those guys get paid is because they have Joe Burrow as their quarterback. But the issue with the Bengals last year wasn't their offense, it was their defense. And by subtracting their best defensive player, you're going to assume that defense gets worse this season, right? I know they've made some changes, a little bit of a change up in personnel that we've talked about too. But Trey Hendrickson's the guy, right? Like, he is the guy that's getting to that opposing quarterback, making things difficult for him. And if you're getting a pass rush, that's only going to benefit the rest of the defense too. So no Trey Hendrickson is not good for the Bengals. I don't think there's any two ways to go about it. You can't spin that no Trey Hendrickson is going to benefit them in some way. It's just a difficult thing to do, and I'm with you. You have to pay the guy, right? Like, the numbers prove that he is one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL. It's just the fact that he doesn't have the same pedigree as a guy like Myles Garrett that was the number 1 overall pick. I'm not sure how you make it all work cap-wise going forward, but if you want to be competitive right now, I feel like you have to make something work if you're the Bengals front office.
Yeah, and, cap-wise, the Eagles could do it. They make it work. You need to, too. And if nothing else for the Bengals, you just don't need the distraction. You need to get this done so everybody's talking about the product on the field rather than stuff off of it. Real quick, you mentioned Terry McLaurin. He reports to Commanders camp. He's on the PUP list with an ankle injury that he suffered last year, so he's not participating on field, and he's a vet. I don't know how much you need him out there. Yeah, it's Jaden Daniels' second year, but they seem to have a pretty good rapport and chemistry last year. It's just good to get him into camp, I believe, because I feel like now when he's there, not only is he going to be happier because he's not losing money, but it's always easier when you're face-to-face and can talk with people to get these deals kind of done. I think Terry McLaurin, this isn't a big issue, especially now, and I think they'll be able to come to terms on a contract pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think the frustration for Terry McLaurin was that there wasn't a whole lot of movement towards a contract extension. Now that he's there and has shown that, he's willing on his side, maybe they can get something rolling. He said he would like to play this year as long as there's some positive momentum towards a deal getting done. The Bengals, I'm looking at kind of their roster next year in the cap space. Same thing with the Commanders. There's wiggle room. Like, you can do stuff. The Commanders have the cap space next year. They don't have as many players signed for next year as the Bengals do, but they still have the cap space to get something done. The difference between these two sides is Jaden Daniels is on that rookie deal, right? So if you're able to get Jaden Daniels, humming the same way he was last year. Like, I know there are still some unknowns around Jaden Daniels, right? He had a huge year as a rookie. Will he keep that production up going forward? But if you're the Commanders, you got to feel like they've got a good window right now, and Terry McLaurin's his clear-cut number 1. I know they added Debo in the offseason, but Terry McLaurin is his clear-cut number 1. He's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. It's almost like you need that guy, right? So get something done there.
And it's interesting. We talk about Burrow with Chase and Higgins. Seems like that's what the Commanders are doing, bringing in Debo, trying to surround Jaden Daniels with playmakers, and that will only help the young quarterback. Big Ten Media Days, they are in the books now. They were out in Las Vegas. What did we learn? We will talk about that next. It's Fan Sports Sunday. Ryan Baker, Dylan Tyrer on the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio!
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Morning Juice is now on YouTube, weekday mornings starting at 6. If you're a fan of Bobby Carpenter, he's ready to attack and dominate. If you're a fan of Jeff Goodoff, drive directly to a hospital. Seriously, The Fan.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Forever starts with the perfect diamond. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and for over 78 years, our family has helped generations of couples celebrate love with brilliance, quality, and unbeatable prices. At Diamond Cellar, bigger diamonds and better prices are our promise to you. Whether you're popping the question or upgrading your sparkle, trust the experts. Because diamonds, they're our forte. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com.
Save big on everything for your next outdoor project at Menards. Shop the largest selection of AC2 pressure-treated lumber and decking, all easy to load directly into your vehicle in our drive-through lumber yard. Plus, get free estimates fast using our easy do-it-yourself deck and pergola design programs. Available in-store or on Menards.com. Save big on all pressure-treated lumber and decking at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for more great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
I'm meteorologist Aaron White here with your 10 weather impact forecast. We're tracking more showers and storms later on today with highs in the upper 80s this afternoon. And then as we head into tomorrow here on your Monday, another chance for a few showers and storms. Otherwise hot and humid with highs in the 90s. And the 90s will continue here for Tuesday and Wednesday, but it will feel like it's closer to 100 here during the afternoon on Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. Garnish your Bloody Mary with sports talk. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
Yes, you are. Ryan Baker, Dylan Tyrer, Nate Puterball, all here with you. We'll be here till about 1:10 today. That's when the Cincinnati Reds and the Tampa Bay Rays take over. Pre-game coverage right here on the Fan. First pitch at about 1:40 today. Big Ten Media Days. Kind of weird that they were in Las Vegas, the heart of Big Ten country, Las Vegas. But they were out in Vegas this week. And I feel like I learned a lot this week just listening to some of the comments we heard from Vegas. The one thing is, whether we like it or not, it seems like the Big Ten is a united front. All of the coaches kind of had the same message that Tony Petitti had. They want the other conferences to play 9 conference games like they do. They feel like their football conference is the best. They want big-time matchups in the non-conference, and because they want those things, they want the 4-4-2-2-1 method. They want the automatic qualifiers because they don't want their conference to be punished for playing a tougher schedule. And listen, we can say what we want about all of that, but I feel like the thing I learned the most this weekend, and I don't think this is wrong, Tony Petitti cares about making money for the Big Ten first and foremost. And listen, this is a business, right? And in business, you want to make the most money possible for yourself, for your organization, for your schools in this case. And that's number one for Tony Petitti. And we may not always like it as Ohio State fans because it may not always be advantageous for us. But at least I know where he stands, and I don't think it's wrong.
No, absolutely not. Isn't that his job?
Yeah.
He's the commissioner of the conference. It's to shine a light on the conference, to make it the premier conference in college athletics, and in this instance, college football. And in doing so, if you're going to be the best, you want to make the most money, right? And it's going to benefit everybody in the conference if the Big Ten as a whole is making a lot of money, right? It's going to increase how good the sports are. It's going to increase how good the football is. It's a long game, right? Like, I know we're thinking about things in the immediate and how the college football playoff could potentially change next year, the year after that, the year after that, however far you look in the future, right? I know some people have pitched absolutely insane college football playoff ideas where it's a March Madness style bracket. Where I stand on it, I don't mind the automatic qualifiers. I'm for as many football games and as many big-time football games as I can watch. I enjoy it. I like the competition. I'm into the idea of everybody playing a 9-game conference schedule. I think if you make things even across the board like that, it makes sense. I know the SEC likes to bill itself as the premier college football conference, but with the additions the Big Ten has made, I mean, you can make the argument that the Big Ten is better than the SEC. It's going to vary on a year-to-year basis. Petitti's job here is to make it so the Big Ten is the best, right, year over year. So if they're able to change things in their favor and make a little bit more money in the way that's doled out, you're going to get better players playing at schools like Indiana and Purdue, and I think it's going to make the conference that much better, right? I still think you're always going to have the big dogs at the top of the conference. Now you've really got Oregon in that conversation. We'll see if Washington can bounce back over the course of the next few years. USC, I feel like everybody always talks about as a sleeping giant. You're just waiting for them to come back. I don't know if it'll ever happen, if it's not going to happen with their current head coach and Lincoln Riley, but you're always going to have Michigan. You're always going to have Ohio State. Penn State is really knocking at the door right now. It's a good conference. It's a great conference, right? But Petitti's job is to make it the elite conference in college football, and I feel like they're almost there. They're almost there. I'm going to go out and say that, in my mind, I think the SEC has better football than the Big Ten right now. That might be a hot take, but Petitti's job is to make it the premier conference in college football without a doubt. And, if you're going to get some automatic qualifiers going and the Big Ten's going to be in there every year, and you're going to get those Big Ten SEC matchups to finally quiet the conversation every year. That sounds good to me. I like the idea. Frankly, I don't really have any qualms with any of the college football playoff formats that have been put out there. You know, the conversation of just ranking the teams and kind of going back to the playoff, but with BCS rankings, I like that idea too. So all of this different stuff. I understand that the automatic qualifier kind of dumbs down winning a conference championship, but maybe there are ways that you can beef up the conference championship game, you know? So there are just so many options out there, but I'm happy to hear that the Big Ten is kind of a united front on this, whereas some of the word coming out of the SEC was maybe the ADs wanted something different than the coaches, then everybody tried to align. So a little bit of a wild conversation there.
And I am not a fan of the automatic qualifier just because I go from the perspective that, and I understand Tony Petitti's trying to protect the Big Ten. I'm of the stance that the Big Ten doesn't need protected here because they're going to get 4 in no matter what. In a 16, I think they'll always have 4 of the best teams. What I don't want to have is a situation where maybe the Big Ten has 5 teams or 6 teams and they don't get them all because you got to put 2 from the Big 12 in. And if I'm the Big Ten, forget protecting the Big 12 and the ACC here, because I'm not sure they're always going, like the Big 12 especially, I'm not sure they're always going to have multiple teams in the top 16. So get that out of there and give me another one. I want the 16 best, but I get what Petitti's doing. He's trying to protect the Big Ten's interests. I thought it was interesting hearing Ryan Day talking about we're not the defending champs. Like, we're aggressive to go win another one. They can't take this title away from us, and I think that's good. I like, if you're a Buckeye fan, you like hearing that. Like, hey, we're on the attack. We're going from another one. I love that the Big Ten has Kurt Cignetti and Burt Bielema in their conference because I think it gets chesty with the SEC then that way, and these guys aren't afraid to say what they want. So I loved hearing those guys, and I hope Indiana and Illinois continue the success they had this year. I'm really high on Illinois this year because of what they return and how their schedule sets up. It's very easy this year. So I think that's good. I hope those programs continue to carry that Big Ten flag and continue to be good. And you know what? I really find myself liking Dan Lanning a lot. I've never been an Oregon fan. I've always felt they were a lot of flash, no substance. But, man, Dan Lanning's kind of turning me into a guy that's rooting for Oregon. I want Oregon to be good.
What is it about Dan Lanning? Why do you like the guy?
I don't know. There's just something about him. He's so honest in the way he talks, and he's just matter of a fact. And I don't know. He's a guy, I feel like if I was playing for Dan Lanning, I'd run through a wall for him.
The Big Ten right now is pretty interesting when it comes to the coaches in the conference, right? There are a lot of good personalities, which you talked about. Kurt Cignetti came in and was kind of a breath of fresh air last season. Brett Bielema in Illinois is a guy that very clearly has not been afraid to speak his mind. James Franklin at times makes headlines, right? You've got Ryan Day in there. Luke Fickell, I know, is kind of in a hot seat situation up at Wisconsin, but imagine if he has a little bit of leeway to pound his chest in the coming years. PJ Fleck has kind of gone to a back burner because Minnesota hasn't taken great strides, but for a while he was one of the hottest names in college football. And of course, Lincoln Riley, Dan Lanning, it is a hot landscape right now in terms of coaches, popular coaches, recognizable names, and like you said, guys that aren't afraid to speak their minds. So I think that lends itself to even more recognition for the Big Ten and hopefully really good football in years to come. I'm with you. I want to see some of these teams really get better and make this conference truly elite.
I feel like the SEC had the upper hand on the Big Ten in football for a long time because they had the better coaches. I think the Big Ten is kind of caught up in that now, though, and I think the Big Ten can hold their own with the coaches in the football side of this conference right now. It is hard for you and I to get together, Dylan, without talking some Blue Jackets, so we'll talk some CBJ offseason coming up next, actually in 2 minutes. It's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
1-800-GOT-JUNK does two things differently.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away.
So the donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
Your neighbors are happy, and the planet is healthy.
What's number two?
We have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is the world's largest junk removal service.
And that's good for your neighbors, and for the planet.
And for you, because we can come the day you call us.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
At United Dairy Farmers, peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Right now, get 2 48-ounce cartons of UDF peach ice cream for $10. It's only here for a short time. UDF peach ice cream, made for you.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Live, local, and still slightly drunk.
I'm not drunk, all right? I just have a speech impediment.
This is Fan Sports Sunday.
Be with you for about another 40 minutes today. Ryan Baker, Dylan Tyrer, Nate Puterball. Glad to have you along for Fan Sports Sunday. Hopefully you're enjoying some nice weather out there, and whether you're listening to us on the radio or the YouTube, we are glad to have you along. Dylan, obviously, you were the pre- and post-game host on the Blue Jackets radio network, and I am a Blue Jackets fan through and through. It is my number one love. I love to get over there to Nationwide Arena whenever I can and catch the CBJ. And this has been I think for fans of the Blue Jackets, this might have been a little disappointing of an offseason just because we were so excited to see what Don Waddell would do after his first year here with the Jackets, getting to know the team, the personnel, what he would want to do, what tweaks, what changes he would make to this roster, a very good young roster core that just missed out on the postseason. And I think maybe fans are disappointed because you heard Don Waddell say, maybe he wanted to bring in a top 6 winger. He wanted to make the defense better. Maybe not change. Change isn't the right word. He wanted to make the defense better. And then what could they do to upgrade the goaltending situation? And so far, the lineup outside of the additions with the trade, which I love the trade with Colorado, to bring in Charlie Coyle and to bring in Miles Wood. I think I'm actually more excited about Miles Wood than I am Charlie Coyle, because this is a guy who, in injuries, played a lot of it, didn't really work for him in Colorado. But, man, when you watch his game in New Jersey early in his career, he's a guy that flies. Like, there are very few guys that can skate faster than Miles Wood, and he's not afraid to mix it up and hit anyone. And I feel like Blue Jackets fans, if we see a line with Miles Wood and Matthew Olivier on it, are going to fall in love with that line in the way they play. But outside of Charlie Coyle and Miles Wood, you've got pretty much the same team. Jet Greaves is going to be here all year, whether that is as a starter or as a split between Elvis Merzlikins, the way things are right now. Ivan Provorov is back, so your defense is still the same, which I don't think is a bad thing, because we've looked at the stats, and when Matejchuk, Provorov, Werenski, and Fabro were your top 4 last year together, the defensive numbers were actually really good. They were some of the better numbers in the NHL when you look at that top 4 together. And I think it was only maybe because of injuries and Matejchuk being called up, Fabro coming in late. I think it was only like 35 games. But when they were together, it was really good. I feel like Blue Jackets fans, though, just thought there was going to be a home run swing, and there hasn't been that. But that doesn't mean this offseason has been bad, because you've got a young core and a team that's getting better.
Well, yeah, a few different things here, and I'll start off addressing what you first talked about, and that, it was a hypothetically disappointing offseason for the Blue Jackets. I'll qualify that by asking you what happened around the rest of the NHL, right? There just wasn't a whole lot of movement.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys that were unrestricted free agents ended up signing with the teams that they had already been on, save a couple of guys there. The Blue Jackets were in on, the biggest trade ahead of the draft, and Noah Dobson. They were in on that, but he ends up going to Montreal. So you look at the landscape and you think about, okay, who are the defensemen out there to sign? Are they better than the guys we already have? I think the Blue Jackets decide no. So they're able to sign Provorov. They're able to sign Dante Fabro. And there's something to be said about continuity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those guys, it was Ivan Provorov's second season as a Blue Jacket last year. Dante Fabro was claimed off of waivers and played about 60 games with the Blue Jackets last year. Something to be said about a little bit more continuity, another year in the system, another year playing with your defensive partner or your line mates, another year playing with the Blue Jackets as a team. So you want to see growth in that regard, right? And another thing that, we can talk about is these young guys taking a step on this team for the Blue Jackets. That is something that is not always linear, right? It's not always linear, but the young guys are the core. They are the baseline for this team. They are who you've drafted, and that is who is going to take the team to the next level. The Adam Fantillis of the world, the Kent Johnsons, Zach Werenski, Denton Matejchuk, who you talked about. And, if you want to talk about additions, Boone Jenner hardly played at all last season. Eric Goodbranson hardly played at all last season. Igor Chinikov missed a ton of time last season. So add those guys into the lineup, and you might be looking at something a little bit different this year. So there are still things to be excited about. I think when you put it in that umbrella or that bucket and you say, oh, yeah, the Blue Jackets didn't have Boone Jenner for most of last season. He's an addition to the top six. Oh, they didn't have Eric Goodbranson. That's a stalwart defenseman that you're adding into the equation. If Igor Chinikov is playing games with the Blue Jackets next season, he is a guy that can score 20, 25, 30, maybe even 40 goals in an NHL season. That's a guy that you want to have, right? And that could be a big piece. And then the Blue Jackets have legitimized their bottom six. They are better in the bottom six than they were last year, with Charlie Coyle playing wherever he is going to play, up and down a lineup, in the middle, on the wing. Miles Wood, you talked about. I'm with you. I want to see that pair with Matthew Olivier and presumably Isaac Lundestrom playing in the middle. So I am excited to see what it looks like. I'm eager to see how Dean Evison has them paired up and has them in lines during training camp. And I just want to see that chemistry and the continued growth for the Blue Jackets this year, because, yes, while everybody wished and wanted them to make a splash, it just wasn't out there for a lot of NHL teams this year. So let's see how the Blue Jackets fare in year two with Dean Evison.
I want to talk about Chinikov in a second, but real quick on the defense, I know it's an expensive third pair if this is the way it breaks down, but there are worse things than having two experienced defensemen in this league like Damon Severson and Eric Goodbranson on your third pair. And again, you mentioned Goodbranson didn't play much last year because of the shoulder injury, and Damon Severson, he can be a maddening player sometimes. You look at him sometimes and he looks like the best player on the ice, and then you see him make a pass that you're like, I wouldn't even let someone in Pee-wee hockey do that. But there are definitely worse things than having an experienced third pair like that. I do think the Blue Jackets on the back end, and we thought, well, maybe maybe there's going to be something else. And when Don Waddell said he wanted to improve the blue line, I think he said that with the idea that, hey, Fabro and Provorov aren't here next year right now because they were free agents. They're both here now, and they're guys you're comfortable with. I do think the CBJ are in a good spot on the back end, actually.
Well, when you think about it, in that Jake Christensen was a lineup regular for the Blue Jackets last season, and he will probably be the 7th defenseman this year. It's an improvement, right? You have professional defensemen up and down the Blue Jackets 3 pairs. Zach Werenski finishes second in Norris Trophy voting last season. Denton Matejchuk looks like he is going to be a real piece. He stepped right into the NHL and didn't look out of place. Dante Fabro, a great diamond in the rough find. He was put on waivers by the Nashville Predators, steps in, and becomes the Blue Jackets' answer on the right side of the first pair with Zach Werenski. Damon Severson, I know, has had a couple of down years with the Blue Jackets, but he is a professional defenseman. If he can find some of that form he had with New Jersey, simplify that game, the Blue Jackets will be in a great spot with him. Eric Goodbranson, a defensive defenseman, does the right things and is a good presence in the dressing room. Ivan Provorov, we've talked about at length, is maybe the definition of a professional defenseman, right? Just doesn't do too many things wrong, is available what feels like every single game of every single season. So I think you got to be pretty comfortable with that. It's veterans throughout the defensive pairs minus Denton Matejchuk, but the way he plays, he looks like a vet.
He looks like a vet, yeah.
So I'm cautiously optimistic, I'll say, with where the Blue Jackets are defensively. And I say that because we saw 1 year of it, right? We want to see continued growth, just playing the system for another year, right? It's like you've been together, when you've been friends with a guy forever, you don't have to ask him where are you going to go for lunch, right? You just know where you're going to go for lunch. It's the same thing on the ice. You know where a guy is going to be. It's just another year of comfort, another year with those guys playing in front of the goalies. And, I think hopefully the goalies feel that benefit as well.
Real quick on the Igor Chinnikov situation. And again, we don't know what's going to happen. There's still plenty of time before now in training camp and the start of the season. But Igor Chinnikov is a guy that I wasn't sure if he would be on the Blue Jackets roster this coming season, because I thought maybe he was a guy that could be, if they were going to make that home run swing, be used in a trade as a sweetener for someone. He's a guy that a lot of people would want. I think the only thing that's really held back him in his career so far have been the injuries. We've never gotten to see his full potential because he's been injured so much. We find out last week that he asked for a trade, wants a new situation for him. Don Waddell said they would look into it, but they're not going to just give him away. This is a young guy with a lot of skills and assets. He's a guy that, sure, he asked for a trade. If it doesn't work out, I could see him coming to camp, and this is a Blue Jackets team that could use a top 6 winger. He is a guy that fits that mold with his skill set. He's a guy that I could see coming in and getting off to a hot start and this thing all changing, because if he earns his ice time with the minutes, he's a guy that, as you mentioned, could definitely produce.
He very well could be that player for the Blue Jackets. If you recall, and you go back to the first week or two of the Blue Jackets last season, he was their best player. He went into a little bit of a lull, and he got hurt after that. The thing for me that's frustrating is I wish we could have seen him rebound from that lull, because those are important steps to take as a young player in the NHL, where, hey, I'm red hot, then I go quiet for a little bit. How do I get out of it? That's how you become a better player, and I think we saw some of that with Kent Johnson last season. I wish we could have seen it for Chinnikov, because then you're like, oh, if he bounces back and continues to develop from there, the same. Adam Fantilli did the same thing. He was quiet for the first 20 games and then exploded. That is the thing. You want Chinnikov to be healthy. If he is able to stay healthy, the 1 year he had a fluky ankle injury. Last year he has the back nagging injury. You want him to stay healthy, and if he is able to stay healthy, he looks like he could be extremely dangerous. Like, I am not shy to say that He should be an easy 20, 25 goal scorer and would not be shocked in a full 82-game season, staying healthy, playing with good line mates, to see him score 40 goals in an NHL year. He's that quality of skater. He's got a tremendous shot. I think he should be that type of guy that he's right there producing with the likes of a Kirill Marchenko the way he did last season. So, you don't want to sell low on that guy. You certainly don't. So I'm hoping the Blue Jackets and Chinakhov can work it out. Chinakhov comes to camp ready to go, and he finds himself in a pretty good situation playing with quality line mates, and we can really see what he is this year.
Yeah, when you go to Nationwide Arena and you see a game and they do like the advanced stats on the boards and things, they got fastest skater, Chinakhov's always in there. Hardest shot, Chinakhov's always in there. So he has all of the tools to be a top six winger and a difference maker for the CBJ. The MLB trade deadline is this coming Thursday. Will the Reds get a difference maker? Will the Guardians sell a difference maker? We'll discuss that coming up next. It's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Delaware County Veteran Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veteran Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veteran Services.
Aaron, I'm freaking out a little that you're giving away $500 in free repairs whenever someone buys a new water heater.
When people are faced with an unexpected expense, an unexpected gift helps restore balance to the universe.
Get Eco.
ECO. How many things can our plumbers do for $500 or less?
Tons of things.
Like what?
We can repair a toilet that's not working. We can replace a hose bib, install a utility sink or a vanity, run a water line to an appliance, replace a garbage disposal.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Replace a shutoff valve, fix an exposed water leak.
What's an exposed water leak?
It's one you can see. It's not inside a wall and it's not underground.
And we're going to do these sorts of things for free just because a person buys a water heater?
Yeah, for free.
Because we're restoring balance to the universe?
Balance to the universe.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and gonna make you cool again, HVAC technicians.
Whoo, go to geteco.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of four, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
The Dublin Irish Festival, August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food and fun. Get your tickets at dublinirishfestival.org.
With rates as low as 5.54% APR and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance with BMI Federal Credit Union, now is the perfect time to take advantage of the BMI FCU Summer Savings Event. Visit bmifcu.org/refinance for more details.
Breaking news. This is a promo for an actual football game. It's time for the Hall of Fame game.
Sponsored by Roosters, a fun casual joint.
Catch the Lions and Chargers live from Canton Thursday, July 31st on your home of the NFL, The Fan.
The sun is out and the savings are on at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Take up to $7,000 off MSRP on any new Kia EV in stock, or get up to $3,000 off MSRP plus 0% financing for 60 months. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. 0% for 60 months equals $1,667 per 1,000 finance. All manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Dealer financing required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 7/31/25.
It's the summer event at Germain Honda of Dublin, and Rich has deals that are red hot. Lease the rugged 25 Honda Ridgeline Sport for only $339 a month, or finance with an unbeatable 0.99% APR. Or you can take on any road in the all-new 25 Honda Passport RTL. Lease it now for $449 a month or 3.99% APR. Summer's here. Dive into the savings at Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for details.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
Want to know anything about the fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
During weekend programming, pants are optional.
Look at my butt!
However, leather chairs may have been a bad choice. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
Ryan Baker, Dylan Tyrer, Nate Puterball here with you. Glad to have you along on this little sprint of a Fan Sports Sunday. So, Dylan, during the week on Bishop and Friends from 9 to noon, Monday through Friday here on The Fan, I'm not allowed to talk baseball very much. we don't get to talk a lot of baseball on Bishop and Friends. It's never Bo's favorite topic. So when I get to host on a Sunday, I feel like I need to talk a little bit of baseball. And it is the trade deadline coming up this Thursday. And the Reds and Guardians both are kind of in interesting positions here. The Reds, 5 games over 500 right now. They are 1 game as of right now. This is as close as they've been in a while. They're 1 game back of a wild card spot. About a week or two ago, they got up to a game and a half back. But now they're 1 game out of a wild card spot. The Guardians, on the other hand, 500 right now at 52-52. They are 3 games out of a wild card spot. And the Guardians here for the past couple of weeks have been playing some pretty good baseball. But it's interesting how the two fan bases, it feels like they're in total opposite directions. Like there's all kinds of hope and let's go get someone for the Reds. And the Guardians, they've been talking about being sellers for a while and just giving up on this season possibly and heading into next. But both are right here in the mix. And Nick Krall has come out and said that the Reds are going to be buyers. They're looking for a bullpen arm. Maybe a right-handed bat, which they've been looking for a while with the Guardians. Is Clase going to be here after the trade deadline? Stephen Kwan, could he go, which I think would be a huge mistake. But it's just interesting, just expectations. The Guardians have been there so long. The Reds have been such an up-and-down team that you've got 2 totally different perspectives on this trade deadline. But I would expect both in some way or form to be active this week.
No, I would tend to agree with you, and I'm kind of in line with the status quo in that if I'm the Guardians, I probably sell, but not super aggressively. Mm-hmm. And if I'm the Reds, I probably buy, but also not super aggressively. I think history says that if you're in the Reds position, you've really got nothing to lose, right? You've got an opportunity with a pretty good farm system to make a deal and see if you can catch lightning in a bottle and go on a little run, right? They're playing pretty good baseball just like the Guardians are right now. And really every game down the stretch for the Reds is going to be huge. They're in an interesting spot where pretty much their entire lineup is made up of young players that look like they are going to have very, very bright futures. The Guardians aren't quite in the same spot. They've got some younger guys that really haven't hit yet. And then they've got a mix of what feel like kind of utility guys between a Schneemann or a David Fry. And then you've got your real bopper in Jose Ramirez. You know, there's a veteran in terms of Santana there. It's just kind of a weird mix and match lineup for me. And they haven't quite hit on the young pitching the way they have in years past. With that said, you've got Shane Bieber on rehab trying to make his way back to Cleveland right now.
Actually pitching in Columbus today.
Yeah, and can he give you a boost, assuming he gets healthy and he gets there in time to help you out a little bit? Do they win a few more games and the teams in front of them lose a few more games and that changes things? But, you know, from my perspective, if you're the Guardians, I think you need to just change things up a little bit. They've still got a pretty good farm system, but you want to add some players to that, add some guys that hopefully can make an immediate impact in the next season or two, because they're a team that always seems to manage to stay competitive, right? And the Reds, I feel like, need that player to just help them get over the hump. Maybe a veteran to help lead the way for some of these young guys. A guy or two that's been there before, show them how to win this time of year and into the postseason. You know, I'm high on both of the franchises, frankly. Like, I like the Guardians and what they do year after year. They just find a way to compete. And the Reds, I feel like they're lined up to really explode with all of the great young players they have. So I don't think you want to really mortgage the future for either one of those teams. But I'm kind of with you as it goes with the Guardians. Like, I would not trade Stephen Kwan. He's a guy that can help you win for years to come. But as far as it goes with Emmanuel Clase, like, maybe you can get some real pieces for a player like Emmanuel Clase, and then, you know, you find a new closer. Like, I feel like you can always find a guy to close out games. Clase is truly one of the elite, but you've got to find those impact bats because the prospects that have come up for the Guardians haven't really been that yet.
You mentioned both the Reds and Guardians playing pretty good recently here, both of them 7-3 in their last 10. The one thing, back when the Blue Jackets were making their push for the playoffs, the one thing that I always looked at and I thought the Jackets could get there was their goal differential, and it was better than the teams around them. The one thing here that I feel is good for the Reds, maybe bad for the Guardians, is their run differential. Yeah. The Reds are plus 44. The Guardians, on the other hand, minus 35. So I understand why there might be a little bit of pessimism with the Guardians and seeing something like that, and maybe this isn't our year. I just always think you've got a franchise player in Jose Ramirez who gave you a team-friendly contract. I would always try to do as much as I could to win as long as I had those guys. The Reds, of course, you can hear right here on The Fan after us. They wrap up their series with Tampa Bay at 140. Cleveland out in Kansas City, they wrap their series with the Royals at 2:10 today. It was a pretty rough week if you grew up in the 80s or 90s with some of possibly your icons or heroes maybe passing away. We will reminisce a little bit next. It's Fan Sports Sunday on The Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. We can help ensure you'll have a reliable income stream in retirement, locking in gains and avoiding downturns in the market. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
Before your road trip, ask yourself, what do I bring? With the new Kia Sportage X Pro's class-leading cargo space, you'll have room for what you need.
Visit kia.com or your local Kia dealer today to keep the adventure going. Lease a new 2026 Sportage LX for $259 a month for 24 months with $39.99 due at signing for well-qualified lessees. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. New 2026 Sportage LX 2.5-liter GDI FWD 8AT 30,085 MSRP. MSRP includes destination handling and excludes taxes, title, registration, license fees, options, and retailer charges. No security deposit required. Extra prices set by dealer and may vary. Purchase option at lease end is $23,165.45. Subject to credit approval by Kia Finance. Lessee is responsible for insurance, maintenance, repairs, 20 cents per mile, over 10,000 miles a year excess where in a termination fee of up to $400. Subject to dealer participation. Offers may not be combined except where specified. Must take delivery by 8/4/25. Limited inventory available. Comparisons based on second row legroom and cargo space behind second row seats in the subcompact SUV class according to Kia segmentation as of June 2025.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay -108 than -110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sportsbook. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Delaware County Veterans Services, here for those who served. Located on the ground floor of the historic courthouse in downtown Delaware, our team of veteran county veteran service officers is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Need a ride to a VA appointment? Facing a financial emergency? Are you or your spouse simply looking for answers? Then give Delaware County Veterans Services a call. 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment. Delaware County Veterans Services.
With rates as low as 5.54% APR and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance with BMI Federal Credit Union, now is the perfect time to take advantage of the BMI FCU Summer Savings Event. Visit bmifcu.org/refinance for more details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Nate Puderball. In baseball last night, the Reds won Game 2 of their series with the Rays 6-2. Ellie De La Cruz broke home in a tied game with a 2-run single in the 7th inning. They'll wrap up their series at 1:40 today. Shane Bass squaring off against Brady Singer of the Reds. Catch the action immediately following Fan Sports Sunday. The Cleveland Guardians split their doubleheader with Kansas City, losing Game 1 in extra innings 5-3, but winning the nightcap 6-4. They'll play the rubber match today at 2:10. Noah Cameron takes the mound for the Royals against Joey Cantillo. In the NFL, former Buckeye Terry McLaurin reported to camp with the Commanders with an injured ankle. He is expected to be placed on the physically unable to perform list. And Texans running back Joe Mixon is expected to miss most of training camp with an injured ankle. And Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is expected to miss training camp this week with an injured back. Breaking sports news, what happens in the Fan, Ohio Sports Destination.
Sports talk, weekend style. You're listening to Fan Sports Sunday.
Final segment of Fan Sports Sunday for this week. Coverage of the Cincinnati Reds and Tampa Bay Rays coming up next here on The Fan. Talking a little Reds and Guardians last segment, I forgot to mention this, and I wanted to make sure I did. Pretty cool as you and I, two guys that dabble in the play-by-play world a little bit. Dylan, two of my favorites, Tom Hamilton getting inducted into the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame this weekend. I remember listening to Hammy growing up when he was doing Buckeye basketball games with Bill Hoskett on the TV, and Hammy just always one of the best, had some of the best calls ever. I love his call of the Jose Ramirez punch to Tim Anderson back in the day. Just so good. Hammy, one of the best to ever do it, getting inducted into the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. And so he is not with the Guardians this week. So Columbus Clippers broadcaster Ryan Mitchell got his first call up to the big leagues this weekend. He's out in Kansas City with the Guardians right now, and I know you've gotten to know Ryan personally. Just one of the best dudes there is out there. So big weekend for Tom Hamilton and Ryan Mitchell. Congratulations to both of them.
Yeah, congrats to Hammy. He's one of the best. Just absolutely electric call after electric call. I love listening to Guards games, and Ryan has meant a lot to me in my career. I used to be Ryan's intern over with the Clippers. So he's helped me.
Did not know that.
Yeah, he's helped me grow as a broadcaster tremendously. He spent time with the Blue Jackets when I worked with them as an intern too. So congratulations to him. It's a call up that's been very, very well deserved. So I was enjoying listening to Ryan on the call yesterday.
24 years Ryan's been working in pro baseball, the last 17 with the Clippers. So a well-deserved call up to the show for Ryan Mitchell this week. It was a tough week, Dylan. If you grew up in the 80s and the 90s like I did, got the news that Malcolm Jamal Warner passed away over the weekend in Costa Rica. Unfortunately, a drowning incident with him. For those of you that don't know who Malcolm Jamal Warner is, he was Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, and that growing up was one of my favorite shows. I think the iconic scene of Cliff trying to get him to Theo to pay attention in school, and he's using the Monopoly money, and Theo's like, I'll drive a motorbike, and steals the money back. Just an iconic scene. So tough hearing that. And then Ozzy Osbourne, one of the greatest rock frontmen of all time, Black Sabbath in his own career, passes away. Oh, there we go. A little Crazy Train. I think everybody has played Crazy Train this week. Because of that, here the passing of Ozzy Osbourne, just a real bummer there. And then you hear that the immortal one actually is mortal. Hulk Hogan passes away at the age of 71. And I got to tell you, when I was a kid and I heard this song come on, and I knew the arena just popped, like it was go time when you saw the Hulkster come out. And as a kid who loved wrestling, and Hulk Hogan at an early age was my first kind of favorite wrestler. And then, you know, the Macho Man was so cool and all of that. Just crazy to see that. It's crazy to know that these guys that you grew up with are no longer here anymore. And it's one of the worst things that sucks about getting older, because your icons and your heroes. And listen, say what you want about Hulk Hogan personally as a person. The character Hulk Hogan was so many little kids' hero back in the day, had them saying their prayers and eating their vitamins. Just a sad week for someone my age.
Well, I mean, when you're talking about Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne specifically, like those guys are cornerstones of worldwide entertainment for, you know, the last 30, 40 years. Like everybody knows who Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne are for a multitude of reasons. Like Ozzy Osbourne, obviously, Black Sabbath music as a solo act as well. Hulk Hogan for not just what he did as a wrestler, but a cultural icon. Both of those guys involved in reality TV too. So I feel like that's a big reason a lot of people that are maybe my age, a little bit younger, know those guys. But it is crazy, just like true icons of not just American entertainment, but worldwide entertainment are gone. So definitely a tough week in that regard. But there was good news.
There was good news for us as well.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore 2 came out a couple of nights ago on Friday. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I thought it did recapture some of the magic as the OG Happy Gilmore.
So I have not watched it yet. I was waiting. I told someone that I would watch it with them. So I was waiting. So hopefully Wednesday night, we're going to get together and we're going to watch it. I am very excited for it. The first Happy Gilmore it came out at such a time for golf, because that was kind of the beginning of Tiger Woods. Like, you first started to know Tiger Woods, and then on the heels of Happy Gilmore, you got the Tiger Woods that was Tiger Woods that shot golf into another stratosphere. So that was such a great time, mainstream for golf around then. I am so very excited to watch this. I'm kind of bummed that I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of jealous that you have.
Already seen it twice.
But I love seeing the new putter that come out, the new Happy putter and all of that. I'm so very excited to watch this. It's a bummer that, speaking of icons that have passed on, it's a bummer that Carl Weathers wasn't around for the remake of Happy Gilmore, but I'm very excited.
Gilmore versus Barker 2.
That would have been great.
There is a feature in the film. I won't spoil too much for everybody, but there are obviously no Carl Weathers, but some awesome cameos. And for me, some of the modern golfers across both tours, Live Golf and the PGA Tour, made some awesome cameos in the movie. Like Scotty Scheffler, like low-key maybe stole the movie for me. I thought he was awesome. So it's definitely worth checking out. Like I said, I feel like it recaptures some of the magic of the OG Happy Gilmore while also being something different. Lots of good cameos. Adam Sandler's Adam Sandler. It's just a lot of fun. It's worth a watch.
Well, I'm definitely very excited to watch it this week and maybe talk with you about it. And see, I've heard some of those cameos are great. By the way, another thing to be excited about for you, my friend. You're getting married this coming weekend, so congratulations to you on that. I know you won't be here much the next couple of weeks, but very excited and happy for you on the upcoming wedding and nuptials and great honeymoon, hopefully.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody that's wished us well, and I had a great time this week.
Reds baseball coming up next.